When I was much younger, and at my old school, I had a classmate who had a bit of an unusual morning routine. Every morning, they would hug their friends before turning to the teacher and saying, "Can I get a sticker now?" The teacher, of course, would say, "No." The student continued this routine day after day, and the teacher repeatedly said no, until eventually, the student just stopped hugging their friends. Until one day, the students started hugging their friends again. This time, they didn't want anything in return. Why is this? Well, it's because the first time the student was hugging their friends, it was because of external motivation. External motivation is when we do something in order to get something in return. An example of this is when someone works overtime at their job so they can get a pay raise. Later on, the student was doing it because of internal motivation. They weren't doing it because they wanted something in return. They were doing it because they actually wanted to hug their friends. This act of doing things to get something in return is called the incentive theory. Now, whilst the incentive may sound normal, it has a significant likeness to operant conditioning. Both push the idea of completing tasks in order to gain reward or avoid punishment. Operant conditioning, as proposed by B.F. Skinner, says that even if a person is doing something merely to get something in return, they are still doing it. Let's say every time a child cleans up the table, they get a chocolate. Yes, it might be for the wrong motivation, but they are still cleaning the table. B.F. Skinner's theory also says that eventually, the task part will become our norm, and we will no longer need the reward aspect. Whilst that theory does make sense, what happens when instead of the task aspect becomes our norm, the reward aspect becomes our norm? What happens when we become almost mentally incapable to complete any task without the promise of receiving something in return? Okay, now we've seen the effect of rewards on young children. What about teenagers? Let's say we have two students, student X and student Y. Now, student X has worked consistently hard all year. They've started and ended the year with A stars. Student Y, on the other hand, started the years off with Ds and Fs, but have since ended the year on the high end of B. Who should get the award? Let's say you give it to student X. Everyone thinks student X deserved it, and student X is happy they put in their best effort. But what about student Y? In their eyes, when they were a D student, they didn't get any awards, and when they were a B student, they didn't get any awards. So why bother? Sure, the teacher may say they did well, but apparently not well enough. Simple then. Give it to student Y. Suddenly, student X is a lot less zealous. Student Y had worse grades than them, and they still got the award? Why aim for that higher mark when it's just the students that improve that get awarded? You see, awards, having both students feel like they're best, isn't good enough. Rewards and awards can be good. They can show somebody that their efforts are being recognized. They could even help somebody to pursue something they didn't even know they were good at. But they do not define anything about us as people. They do not dictate whether we are smart or stupid, whether we're good at something or bad at something else. They are simply highlighting one group of people. To tell the truth, there will always be awards and there will always be rewards. And there will always be people that didn't get them. The best thing we can do regarding this is give them less control over our lives. The quicker we do this, the quicker we start going for new things, because we're not afraid to lose. And if you are in a position to give out rewards or an award, make sure that reward for some is not a punishment for another.